morning, everybody. Thanks for joining me as we take a look at your shorter work week forecast, vacation week forecast here for Christmas week. Things are looking kind of dreary for the week and kind of wet as well, unfortunately. This has just been not a great end of December forecast. The pattern does seem to be changing, not towards an overly snowy pattern, but at least towards a more wintry pattern as we turn the calendar year from 2023 to 2024. But before we get to that, we're going to have some rain. We've got this very large kind of cutoff system across the central part of the country, led to basically a blizzard here over the Central Plains, and still a very active subtropical jet. I won't repeat what I've said 1,000 times this year about how El Nino is affecting that, and that is developing kind of as this storm is sort of dying. We're developing a bit of a system here across the eastern coast that is going to head in our direction. It's going to bring some rain, steadiest rain, not overly heavy this time, thankfully. Nothing like we faced the last couple of weeks before this, as we've had a couple of really wet storms, the last couple of storms that have rolled through. This will be somewhat wet, but then it'll sort of linger because the pattern is very blocked up at the moment. It's not completely, it's like not moving at all, but it's kind of slow moving. So what's going to happen here is this will come through with some steadier rain tomorrow, and we'll get to that, showing you that. Maybe even overnight tonight that gets kicked off. And then kind of drizzle and showers for Wednesday night into Thursday. And then Friday, another little ripple of low pressure wants to kind of, as this part of the system swings through, and that may change eventually some of our rain over to snow, and some light snow accumulations are possible Friday night, through Friday late afternoon, overnight, especially at elevations. We're not talking a big storm, I don't think, at the moment. Nothing is sort of indicating that. But measurable snow, plowable snow, maybe even in a best case scenario, is possible for this weekend. So, which would really be nice to kind of help out the ski areas some. They're doing their best, but it's been a struggle. They can only do so much when the weather has been like it is. Here is the system. Here's the surface low pressure that wants to kind of run up along the front. As you can see, there's some steady precipitation in here, nothing overly heavy. We've got our snow back across the upper Midwest and across the eastern Rockies. Again, today is basically dry. Could even see a few peaks of sun when we have a bit of a high pressure system here, although that sun will quickly fade to the clouds as the clouds really roll in. And tonight, it really kind of thicken up before we kind of get to the steadier precipitation, mostly during the day tomorrow. Not going to be overly heavy, kind of a light rain, but steady rain tomorrow before we kind of move through the week. Let's kind of take a look back at what's going on temperature wise. Again, eastern half of the United States, quite warm. We have tapped a little bit of colder air across the Rockies, although these temperatures are not that cold. We do have some moderately cold air across central Canada. This is also not overly cold. We do have some frigid air, the coldest air in the Western Hemisphere, located over central Alaska, and we are seeing some signs that we are going to break out some colder air across Canada that we may tap across the eastern part of the United States. Not this week, but as we head into next week, potentially. Doesn't look like any outbreaks of, this kind of stuff, but definitely at least kind of moving more towards a more typical pattern where you've got cold air to tap in Canada. You can see even up Western Canada here, even up in the Yukon and everything, a lot of temperatures in the teens. That's quite warm for them this time of year, way above average for them this time of year, which has sort of meant we've just had basically Pacific air that's moved across a lot of the country, and then we've been tapping some air from the southeast with that strong subtropical jet stream. It's really kind of just pushed the Arctic air out of North America so far for the last 3-4 weeks here across Northeast. As we take a look at what that looks like, here's your upper level pattern. Here's kind of that cutoff from the flow. Here's what's there of your northern jet stream, and you can see it's not real strong. Here's your southern jet stream, which again, that's very strong, very typical for El Nino. What's going to happen here is eventually we are going to start to see this northern jet stream at least descend across northern Canada and give us a better chance of some colder air. That also gives us a chance at potentially capturing one of these storms that will continue to roll across the southeastern United States, led by the southern jet stream, capturing it, combining it with some cold air, and giving us some snow. There's nothing in the forecast right now, nothing in the next really 10 to 15 days in the forecast models that indicate that really happening, but it becomes, that's how, if we're going to get snow this winter, if we're going to get a big snowstorm, and that's normally how big snow happens anyway, but it would really be, you've got to get a really strong push that really kind of captures and creates a coastal low. That's going to be our likely scenario. And it sort of depends on exactly where the southern jet stream sets up. Sometimes you get storms that are kind of being created across the southern plains. Those tend to go up west of us, and we often can end up with kind of this mixed precipitation. But this is kind of the warmer side of what usually happens in an El Nino winter. Sometimes you get storms that are being created across the southeast and going out to sea. That's pretty typical as well. Then we could get into some colder air, which would at least be better for snowmaking. So that's sort of what's happening as we look at our forecast. Oh, sorry, I almost sneezed there, but apparently not. Okay, so what does it actually look like today? We're in the low 40s, so this is quite a bit above average, at least 10 degrees above average for this time of year. Low 40s, overnight lows are probably 15 degrees above average, as we're going to stay above freezing really for the next 3 days entirely. We really cloud up tonight. We're pretty cloudy today, but a couple of peaks of sun. Tomorrow, that's a steady light rain. Tomorrow's the most steady of the rain. It's rained at all elevations. There's no snow even at the highest peaks. Temperatures are pretty steady everywhere, right around 40-ish. Overnight, we cool off a degree or two. It's basically temperatures stay the same. Sprinkles hold on. Sprinkles for Thursday as well. All told, this is probably not more than about a third to a half an inch of rain. So it's not a big rain producer, but it's there. I think mostly just cloudy Thursday night before that second storm starts to develop, kind of, or the second part of the storm kind of moves over the top of us. Rain changes to snow. Not like any sleet or freezing rain. This is just rain and snow mix. On Friday, higher elevations will change to snow first. And I think everybody, even the lower elevations, mostly turn to snow for what's left. This is going to be light, but there is a chance of some small accumulations. Might just be a coating, but there's a chance that a couple of the models do give us a chance of seeing a few inches of snow. We'll have to pay attention to that. I'll probably have a forecast update for you on that probably Thursday, looking at things as they go. And I'll certainly have your Friday morning. I'll have a forecast for you that will definitely detail this kind of stuff. As we take a quick look at the highlights, dreary weather for most of the week, steady rain tomorrow, showers and drizzle for Thursday. Friday, the showers turn to snow, especially in the higher terrain. Some light accumulation of snow possible Friday night into Saturday morning. Again, I think in a best case scenario, this is like not more than 4 inches anywhere, so it's not a big deal, but it could be enough to make it a little slick on Saturday morning and to give us some actual snow, which would be nice. All right, I want to give a quick shout out to my patrons. They help support what I do here at the West River Weather Guy. If you're interested in becoming a patron, there is a link in the description below that talks about how you can do that. Really appreciate all my subscribers as well. If you haven't subscribed before, I would encourage you to do so. You can hit that bell that makes sure that you get notifications every video that comes out so that you don't miss any of my videos. All right, I will be back on Friday at the latest with an updated look at your weekend forecast, but I'll probably be back one time before that to talk about potential snow on Friday, probably on Thursday. Sometime I'll have that video out for you. All right, thanks for joining me. I'll see you on Thursday.